Strocktingas sich maklang Utsaza, Utsaza, uns gedeuert euch nicht lang Utsaza, Utsaza, es kommen on die Donkosaken Utsaza, Utsaza, mit Tanken und mit Automaten Utsaza, Utsaza. Hengi molt sein as afreit Utsaza, Utsaza, es läuft a kegen Kind und Keg Utsaza, Utsaza, von die Fenster Balkonen Utsaza, Utsaza, flattern die Reute vornen Utsaza, Utsaza. Jetzt sind wir alle gleich, Utsaza, Utsaza, alle Uhren, keine Rach, Utsaza, Utsaza, Seifenkehler, Seifenguren, Utsaza, Utsaza, Rahmen ist mal frei geworden, Utsaza, Utsaza. Dem ersten Tag schon hebt sich Utsaza, Utsaza, давай часы, давай пальто, Utsaza, Utsaza, bis der Wein sich von die Fässer, Utsaza, Utsaza, Wodki ist a viele besser, Utsaza, Utsaza. Steht der Reul im Gaften fragt, Utsaza, Utsaza, was glitten Sebasche, Utsaza, Utsaza, sagt Tavarisch enter jeden, Utsaza, Utsaza, ist es Tag ja Ganein, Utsaza, Utsaza. Bei uns ist gut, bei uns ist fein, Utsaza, Utsaza, jeder muss zufrieden sein, Utsaza, Utsaza, Stalin ist die Konstitution, Utsaza, Utsaza, leben soll die Revolution, Utsaza, Utsaza. Und was ist denn bei uns nicht da? Utsaza, Utsaza, Milch und Honig rinnen da. Utsaza, Utsaza, wir haben Fabriken von Maranzen. Utsaza, Utsaza, Fährlich können bei uns tanzen. Utsaza, Utsaza. Wer sie glaubt nicht unser Wort, Utsaza, Utsaza, nehmen wir im gleichen Ort, Utsaza, Utsaza, wir führten zu die weiße Bären, Utsaza, Utsaza, leben soll der Reiter Stern, Utsaza, Utsaza. Steh der Reule magaft und hört, Utsaza, Utsaza, Itlecher und gut bakelert, Utsaza, Utsaza, It's der ischen Chlor für jeden, Utsaza, Utsaza, Sis an Messer Ganeden, Utsaza, Utsaza.
Okay, let's start reading it. That's a fun one. Anne Frank, can you read it, the English one? But if I call on you, muted, all of you are muted. Michael muted all of you, so unmute and read.
Okay. Many of you will remember some of the songs by Beryl Schachter Gottsman that we have heard, like Baruch Hu, Hobo, sung by Michael Albert, or Mayan Kvorter Mince, which Mincy, which she recorded herself. She often worked with Albert, and here he sings her song, the Cossacks. In fact, she wrote the song with her brother, the Yiddish linguist and activist, Dr. Mordecai Schechter. Her family had suffered both under the Nazis and Soviets. Their father, Benjamin, had been arrested by the Soviets in 1940 on bogus charges, imprisoned, and finally sent to Siberia, from which he did not return.
Go on.
You may also remember Michael Alpert's recording of a statistical Chernobyl. Like that song, Dr. Kozakin takes aim at the lies of the Soviet system. Alpert here uses one of the same Russian melodies as in Chernobyl. Note that the Don Cossacks here probably refer to cavalry units of the Red Army, most of whom fought against the Germans and who will help the Soviets establish their empire, just as they had fought for the Tsars. The word Otemnatin means machine guns. Tovarich means comrade. Tovarich means comrade.
Okay, thank you, Anna.
You're welcome.
Julia, you want to start reading? Remember that you, all of you are muted, so please.
Tovarich.
Julia, unmute. Michael, you can unmute her.
I can send a request to unmute.
Julia, okay, now, good.
Okay,
Okay, good.
okay, I can't, okay. Strut ingas sich aklang und gedreuert euch nicht lang. Es kommen on die dann Kazaken euch die Pferd mit euch do matten.
Mit Automaten. Okay, can you translate or you want Maurice to do it?
Yeah, somebody else do it, yeah.
Okay, Maurice, please do.
Strukt in gas sich aklang is a rumor running through the streets. Uns gedauert euch nicht lang. And it's not too long before Skummen und die Don Kosaken, the Don Cossacks have arrived. Auf die Pferd mit Automaten, on their horses with machine guns.
Okay, let's continue. Arlene?
Okay, can gemacht sein, Eisefrei, Scheloich, Achtige und Teig, von der Fenster und Balkone, Terren der Leute, Fahnen.
Ponen. Yeah.
So, what does gemalt mean?
Described.
What is it?
Described. Pictured.
Oh, can you describe such a what's this describe?
Joy.
Oh, such a joy. The life like running, running something, child and something.
Yeah, so Kind und Kite means everyone's running towards them to meet them.
Okay. From the window, balcony, something, the red something.
The red flags are waving.
Okay.
Okay, Maurice, can you just translate it from the beginning so we will get the whole picture?
Sure. Can gemalt sein als Freude? Can you picture, can you describe such joy? Es läuft dagegen Kind und Kite. Everyone is running towards them. Von die Fenster und Balkonen flattern die Häute von.
Windows and balconies.
Windows and the balconies, the red flags are waving.
Okay, good.
Question,
Yes, please.
how are we to translate Kate or kite?
Kind und kite means everyone, means everybody.
Okay. It's not
Like
chain, in
kith
other
and
words.
kin. No, in
Okay.
English, kith and kin. Anyway,
Gotcha. Thank you.
Okay, Sergio, can you go on, Sergio?
I have a question. Tell me what is the meaning of the flags, red flags in the Jews' villa? They wanted to show to the Cossacks that why the red flags? This is a Yiddish Kleinstädtele, or no?
No.
it's because the Germans had occupied parts of Poland and Russia and Romania, and the Soviets were now moving against the Germans to push them out. So
Yes.
many Jewish people, they didn't have to be communists, but they were happy to see the
Yes.
Don Cossacks coming because they were driving out the Nazis. So they ran to meet them, they brought them flowers.
Yes, showing they support them.
To support, right. Not
Yeah.
because they loved Stalin, but because they,
Understood.
right, because they saw that the Soviet army would liberate them from the Nazis,
Yeah.
And which they did, if you think about it.
which they did, right.
Yeah.
I follow.
Okay, yes.
Nina.
Okay. Yes, you please. Read, please.
Itzter zemir alle gleich. Alle orim keine reich.
Good, go on.
Sei von Keller, sei von Gorn. Ura meis befreit geworden. Now we are all the same. We are poor. Nobody is rich. From a Keller, sei von Gorn. What is, I don't remember Keller and Gorn.
Cellar.
Cellar?
Cellar is a basement.
Yeah.
A
Basement, the cellars, right.
And Gorn?
I'm not
The
sure.
floor of the factory.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I think he's just saying that everyone who used to be,
Everyone, yes.
you know, right.
Ura, mir, we are we are released, we are free.
Yes.
Right, we are liberated, befreit.
We are
We're free.
liberated.
Free,
Yes.
right.
Free.
What's
Okay.
name Gorn?
I don't know that word.
Yeah, we became free.
No,
What
he's
is-
asking
What
about
is Gorn?
Gorn.
But
Gorn is the floor of the factory.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay, let's go on.
How do you say floor in Yiddish? I thought it was dill or padloge.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Bill
that's a
Pavlovich.
specific.
Right,
This is
What about-
something.
What about the word tret?
What?
Tret, them tret.
That's a stair, isn't it?
Yeah, and
Or a
yeah,
step.
Rafael, you want to say? And Rafael?
Yes. Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay,
Yes.
good. According to my dictionary, Garden is the upper floor, the attic. And so that makes sense here, von Keller, von Garden, from the bottom to the top of the building.
Okay,
uh-huh.
okay.
Then again, Keller, Raphael, what is for
That's
you?
the bottom, that's the basement, the cellar.
Basement.
Cellar. Kayla cellar.
Okay,
Closer to the word.
okay. Vera, go on, please.
Okay. Dem ersten Tag schon hebt sich und dabei Chassis. Mein Gewalt. Dabei Palton.
Yeah,
Gießt der Wein sich von die Fässer. Vodka is a filu besser. Can someone translate it, please?
okay, Maurice, please.
sure. So the ersten Tag schon hebt sich on, but it starts right from the first day, and then it's a Russian, davai chassis, davai palton, which I think means hand over your watches, hand
Yes.
over your coats.
Your course, exactly.
Skis der Wein von die Fässer. Wine is flowing from the barrels vodka is a Philly besser. Vodka is even better.
Okay. Okay, Judy,
Is
can you?
Dovai, I'm sorry, Dovai is Yiddish or Russian?
No, Russian. Davai is,
Yeah.
Davai is give me. Davai is give me.
Yeah.
So Russian.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Judy, can you go on?
I'll give it a try.
Of course.
Steht der Eulen Gaft und fragt, Wasserklick is ze beschert. Zog Tavarisch eint für jeden is ihm Take a Ganeden. I will have somebody else translate.
Okay, we are reverting to Maurice.
So, steht der Eulen Gaft und fragt. So the people are standing there, their Gaft is, their mouths open, they're surprised, and they're asking, Vossaglik is a bashet. What kind of joy is in store for them? What kind of joy is destined for them? Zog tovarish and fayed. Say, comrade, one says, is this take a Gan Eden? Is it really paradise?
Okay. Aida, I cannot see you, but I see that you are there. So can you read, Aida?
Yeah, I just showered, that's why, because I came from the gym. Okay, when unser is good, bei unser it's fine. Jeder mag zufrieden sein. Stalin ist die Konstitution. Leben soll die Revolution. So by us is okay, it's good. By us it's fine. Either muss zufrieden sein. We all have to be happy. Stalin is the constitutional. Leave the revolution.
Yeah?
Okay?
Yeah. You know, you read it so well. Go on, read the next one as well.
Oh, read the next one?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just had to make myself comfortable. So
Okay. Und was ist nicht bei uns nicht da? And what is it that we don't have? Milk and honey, rinnen da. We have milk and we have honey. Wir haben Fabriken von Marans. We have made it from oranges?
Yes.
Kennen bei uns tanzen. We are happy and we can dance.
No.
Horses. Horses.
What?
Pferdle.
A pferd is a horse.
Oh, Pferdle, yeah.
Not Freilech, but Pferdle.
Pferdle.
Yeah.
Right.
The opposite. Okay. My mother used to say that word.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you, Aida. Myrev, yes, I see that you raised your hand.
I just want to say, I was in Russia just before, as Glasnost was happening, and the Soviet Union hadn't come apart yet, and oranges were like, it was like impossible to get. It was everybody's dream to get an orange. They were so rare.
Did you look in the factory?
Trying to say with that.
Maurice, what did you say?
Did you look in the factory?
Yeah, of course.
You're being funny.
Yeah. Susan, I see Susan. Susan, you're muted.
This is when the Soviets beat the Germans in World War II, correct?
Correct.
Yes. So I believe this verse in a way is ironic. They say they have all milk and honey and they're pouring. This is, I think that's ironic. It's not that way. There's been a big war. And the orange factories wouldn't be open. And
No,
and even the
yeah,
horses, and this is the propaganda that even the horses dance. That this would be the Soviet propaganda.
right, this is making fun of Soviet
Making
propaganda.
fun of, yes, even though they're glad that the Russians submitted the Germans, this is making fun of Soviet propaganda.
Right.
It's a
None of
satirical
this
song.
is true. None of this verse is describing.
Right, it's a satirical song.
Right.
Okay, Myra, yeah?
Again, from my visit to Russia at that time, I discovered that this is the way you talked in code. You would say things, everybody would know what you meant, that you were being satirical, that you were saying the opposite of what, you were complaining about how terrible things were, but you had to be very, 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 very careful what you said. They guarded themselves extremely carefully what they would allow themselves to say unless they knew people really, really, really well. That's what's happening in this song.
Jews know how to do that very well.
Okay, thank you. Let's go on. Anita, can you go on? Anita?
Stop fidgeting.
Unmute yourself, Anita.
Yeah, you're muted, Anita. You are still muted.
Oh, okay. Okay. I
Okay,
think
go
I
on.
got it. I'm not in my computer. Un verse, can you hear?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Un verse glauben nicht unser Wort, nehmen wir in Gläub von Ort. Me führt ihm zu die weiße Bern. Leben soll der Reuter Stern. Und Verse glauben nicht unter Wort. And whether they they believe in our word, they don't believe in our word. And nehmen wir in Gläub von Ort. I don't understand.
We get rid of him. We get rid of them.
We remove them.
The first line says, whoever doesn't believe in our word.
Whoever doesn't believe. Okay. We take him, nehmen min Gläub von Ort. We take him away from the place.
From where he is.
Yes.
Me führt him to the weiße Bern. And we take him to the weiße, white Bern.
Yes.
Siberia.
Siberia. Siberia. They take him away.
Yes.
And live to the Reuter Stern, to the Russische or the
Long live the
Red Star.
Long live. Okay, the Reuter Star.
Yeah, the Red Star. Maurice, you want to add anything?
Yeah, I mean, you have to realize that the people who wrote this song, which is Bela Schechter Gottesman and her brother, Mordche Schechter, their father, Benjamin, was taken by the Russians to Siberia and never seen again.
Yes, yes.
This is a direct reference to their own experience with the Soviets. Okay.
Okay. Beverly, I see that you raised your hand.
I have a question about the Cossacks. The Cossacks that I know are the Ukrainians that marched into my mother's shtetl, not the Cossacks from the Russian army. So were they two different groups or?
No, they just changed wherever they're marching. But it's the same group, the same Cossacks. They just changed the legions.
But these Cossacks did good, and the ones who went into the Shtetlach, they killed people. But these Cossacks.
It depends on which tribe of Cossacks, and it depends on which century we're talking about. You know, in Khmelnytsky's day, in the 17th century, they massacred tens of thousands of Jews.
Right.
But over the years, the Tsars used the Cossacks in their own army because they were these fabulous horsemen
Yeah,
who
I do.
loved to fight wars, and the Tsars incorporated them into their, and various Tsars at various times recruited the Cossacks into their army. And during the Second World War, that was also true. There were Don Cossack regiments fighting with the Soviets against the Germans. There were other Cossacks who didn't. There were other Cossacks who preferred to be anti-Semites. So it depends which ones and where and when. So,
Okay, good. Rochale, I see that you raised your hand.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to what Morty said, that it's not only cynical, the poem, but also because they lost their father. You can feel the pain that they have with their cynicism. Also, a quick story of a I know from the end of the war, when they became of German, how it's called, the German folk, those who lived in Poland. There was a special name for them. Deutsche Volke, something like that.
Volksdeutsche.
Say it again?
Volksdeutsche.
Deutsche, right. So, Cossack is saving their lives. And I said, what happened? And she said, they put them on a wagon to on the one revive them, take them back to Germany, but under the on as children, they use the targets because under weapon that they try to deliver to the Nazis, so they will continue their fight in a certain location. So it's another picture to what we know.
Okay, thank you, Rochale. Morty?
Yeah, in addition to what Maurice said, first of all, I'm not sure that this poem refers only to the time of after the Second War. I think it tries to show what the Soviet Union was for the Jews in general. But that's not that important. I think the important thing here is that the Cossacks were always anti-Semites, because they were mostly Greek Orthodox, and the Orthodox Church was extremely anti-Semitic, as much or more than the Catholic Church. So wherever they were, if they fought with the Russian army against the Nazis, it was for the Tsar, not because they liked the Jews and they wanted to get rid of the Nazis for the benefit of the Jews. It was only for the Tsars, and the Tsars were very, very anti-Semitic, with the exception probably of Alexander I. But even when he died, the reaction against his policies, which were relatively good to the Jews, were created a reaction that was terrible for the Jews. So I don't see the Cossacks ever doing anything good for the Jews.
Okay, thank you, Morty. Barbara?
So I have a question. It's from the way you're talking about, the Cossacks were terrorists. They were used to be, I'm asking, they were terrorists used by the dominating power.
They were mercenaries. They were mercenaries.
They were mercenaries, but they were terrorists.
They were always mercenaries. The term terrorist doesn't exist at that time.
Right, they had, it was a centuries old military tradition. They were cavalry, they fought for the Tsars, then they fought for the Soviets. I mean, I don't think, I mean, who is a terrorist and who isn't a terrorist? That's a big, big question. But they fought against the Germans. So as far as I'm concerned, they did a good thing.
They did something
against the Germans.
Right, but they weren't a regular army, it sounds like. But that's why I'm asking these questions. I don't know if they were regular army or if they were considered something that was,
I think whoever was ruling Russia, whether it was the Tsars or the Soviets, were happy to recruit Don Cossacks, whole regiments, because they were already well-trained in fighting. They were great horsemen. I don't think anybody used the word terrorist against them at the time because, you know,
Maurice,
including
just a
soldiers,
moment.
you know, it's, I mean, you know, right now Putin is, you know, he's using Chechens to fight in Ukraine. Does that make the Chechens terrorists? I don't know. It's, anyway.
Okay, thank
But
you.
what for Barbara, the Cossacks were always in the army, in the Russian army. Tsar or afterwards, they were always groups in the Russian army.
Right.
So,
Right.
but so they were, you know, it was like, it was ingrained in the Russian army. So
Okay.
the Don Cossacks were always there, always
Okay.
used. Okay, Rachel.
Thank you.
Rachel.
Yeah, to continue what Susan said about irony here, that line, wir haben Fabriken von Maranzen, how oranges don't come from factories. Oranges are not made in factories. Oranges grow in orchards. And they're saying that, oh yeah, we are manufacturing oranges. That's so ironic, you know.
Sure.
Yeah, yes, we are going to have oranges. We are manufacturing them.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's a joke. It's satire.
It's a joke.
It's a
Yeah.
joke. It's satire.
Yeah.
It's making fun of the propaganda. That's
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, Myra.
Okay, so I do not want to defend Cossacks. Okay, I mean my grandmother lived through the Kishinev pogrom. So, but I want to say the same trip to Russia, we also went to Georgia, and it opened my eyes because what they told us over and over is we have had to defend ourselves over and over. Every century we have to fight off so that we keep our land. And you have to remember that there are all these little places in the Caucasus, all these little, you know, they're now broken up, but they were fighting, they've been fighting off invaders forever and ever. And that's a Cossack tradition, is we're defending our land, right? They just have it from centuries, from the Middle Ages, of this, you know, that we have to fight. It's become their way they live, right? So I'm not saying what they did, okay? Nobody say that I'm saying they did good things, but there are a bunch of little countries in that whole area, if you look at the map, that have all been fighting off the Soviets from one side and the, you know, Napoleon from the other, and I can't even remember all the conquerors they fought off back to, you know, the Roman Empire. So that's why it's their tradition. That's what I want.
Okay. Morty Rochalen, we continue the song. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that there's an interesting mention in the song also, where it says "Bus verglichen warten auf Farins," something like that, and there's a usual ironic Yiddish saying that says is Yiddische Glicken, and it's a satiric way of saying the bad luck of that the Jews have gone through, especially in Europe, for so many centuries. And this is a reminder of that.
Okay, thanks, Morty. And what did I say? Rochalen, we will continue the song. Otherwise, we will get stuck here forever.
I just wanted to remind everyone that oranges don't grow in those areas. And when my husband had the surgery when he was a little kid in Poland, what they brought him after the surgery was a slice of orange, one orange and a slice of watermelon. It was a big deal, you know, talking about heaven that does not exist in those areas, you know, and it's as cynical as it comes. The other thing I was going to say that is also cynical is what he said about the Chechen. I just heard on the news, Putin is recruiting also people from the prison. So no more Cossacks prisoners who are being recruited to fight the Ukraine. But just to finish, the Kazachok dance, Cossack, the one,
Yes.
no, the one,
Cossacks.
so
That's
everyone
Cossack.
likes this dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everyone likes this dance.
Okay. I see Luisa. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. My husband published talking about Cossacks. The biggest Cossack assassin, murderer of Jews was Bogdan Khmelnytsky. And for a very long time, he led the hordes, of course, to lead on so many pogroms. My husband publishes a book about banknotes from all over the world. And for a very long time, Ukraine was issuing a banknote with the portrait of Bogdan Khmelnytsky. And since it is a Hebrew saying to say his name and then that may his name be erased, Bogdan Khmelnytsky Imach Shemo in Hebrew, my husband, when he used to have, this is my husband's book, this is the Ukraine section. This is the Ukraine section of my husband's book about banknotes from Ukraine. And he used to have the banknote that had Bogdan Khmelnytsky's portrait, but he would, for the longest time, not put his name. He would just put portrait without putting the name of the person. And the government of Ukraine many times wrote to him to tell him that he was making a mistake, that he needed to put the name. And my husband never put his name on that note. Now he just told me, I called him, he did not include the banknote here because in his latest edition, because it is a lower value banknote anyway.
God love him, God love him.
Yeah. Okay, that was an interesting story. Thank you.
Khmelnytsky acted in the 19th centuries, yes?
17th century.
70s.
17th century.
70s.
1664. 16 something. Yeah, 16 something. Okay, Michael, go on, read, Michael.
Okay, steht der Eulam, Gaft und Herd, Itlicher hat gut beklärt. Itzter is showing klar for jeden, sis an emissary Ganeden. So everybody is, what do we say, like aghast? Or
Yeah, a gap.
Aghast, and they hear.
What does that mean?
Let's see. Everything is, or everything is well understood. Is that?
No. Baklet is they thought it over.
Oh, pondered. That's right. It's
Many
pondered.
of them
So
thought it over.
everybody thought it over well. It's very clear for everybody. This is a true Gan Eden.
What does the word gaft mean in the first line?
Like a gape.
Open-mouthed.
Gaping, their mouths are open.
Think of the English word a gape.
Gape, right.
Oh, gape. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, let's
Can we say
continue.
with astonishment?
Yeah,
There's an emissary Gan Eden. He is the ultimate Jewish irony that we're talking about. The fact that it would be a paradise. It's quite the opposite.
Okay, let's listen to it once again.
Oh, my God.
This is a picture of whom?
Excuse me.
Struktingas maklang utsatsa, uns gedoyert euch nicht lang utsatsa. Es kommen on die Donkosaken, utsatsa, mit Tanken und mit Automaten, utsatsa. Kengi malt sein as a freit, utsatsa, Släuft a kegen kind und keg, utsatsa, Von die Fenster Balkonen, utsatsa, Flattern die Reute vornen, utsatsa. Jetzt sind mir alle gleich, utsatsa, alle Uhren, keine Rach, utsatsa, Seifenkehler, Seifenguren, utsatsa, Rahmen ist befreit geworden, utsatsa. Dem ersten Tag schon hebt sich utsatsa, Давай часы, давай пальто, utsatsa, Bis der Wein sich von die Fässer, utsatsa, Wodki ist a viele besser, utsatsa. Steht der Reul im Gaft und fragt, utsatsa, was glichen sei Basche, utsatsa, sagt Tavarisch enter jeden, utsatsa, is es Tag ja ganein, utsatsa. Bei uns ist gut, bei uns ist fein, utsatsa, jeder muss zufrieden sein, utsatsa, Stalin ist die Konstitution, utsatsa, leben soll die Revolution, utsatsa. Und was ist denn bei uns nicht da? Utsatsa, Milch und Honig rinnen da. Utsatsa, wir haben Fabriken von Maranzen. Utsatsa, Fährlach können bei uns tanzen. Utsatsa. Wer sie glaubt nicht unser Wort, utsatsa, nehmen wir im gleichen Ort, utsatsa, die vierten zu die weiße Bären, utsatsa, leben soll der Räter Stern, utsatsa. Steh der Reule magaft und hört, utsatsa, Itlecher und gut bakelert, utsatsa, It's der ischen Chlor für jeden, utsatsa, Sis an Messer Ganeiden, utsatsa.
Okay. I saw that Sergio wanted to ask something. No? Rochale?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Anyone knows if the Cossacks came from some specific geographical area?
Yes.
Not from all Ukraine.
Yes.
Morty answering?
Caucasus.
Yes, that's why I raised my hand. The Cossacks come from the southern part of Russia, right by the border with Ukraine and in part of Ukraine. As a matter of fact, the song talks about the Don Cossacks. The Don River runs in the southeastern part of Ukraine and ends up by the Crimean area. So the Cossacks are from there. There were two very large tribes of Cossacks. One was from the Don River area. The other group was from an area that's very well known these days, Zaporozhye, where the nuclear plant that the Russians and Ukrainians are fighting for. So those are the two areas where mostly were Cossack areas.
Okay, thank you, Morty.
Thank
Rochale?
you.
If I'm not wrong, what Khmelnytsky,
We cannot, there is a problem with your microphone. We hear only parts of the sentences that you are
can
saying.
you hear me now? Is it?
Okay, let's try now.
I was trying to say that pogroms of Khmelnytsky not only kill people, it's Jewish, the very Jewish of all the villages that they and left people complete orphans, people without anything, and they were to Judaism. I think that this is what led to the involvement of the Hasidut, started because of the need to survive for victims of horrible pogroms, Jewish institutions, because if you have no people, there's
Very difficult to understand you. You are with me, guys? I don't know why.
Yes, I think
it's a
her
poor connection. It's a poor
Great connection.
her Wi-Fi is not
right, poor Wi-Fi
Yeah,
connection.
because we hear only parts of what you say, not the whole thing. Okay, I think we will leave
okay.
the
I
Cossacks.
will say it later. I will open my.
Okay, okay. I think we will leave the Cossacks, otherwise we will get bogged down with them and there will be, you know, there is no ending to what they did. Just apropos, when Stalin, during the big purges, he also purged some of the Cossack, and some of them he transferred to another area, just so you know, just to make it even for everyone. So he,
Yeah,
he included them as well. So
equal opportunity guy.
exactly, exactly, yeah. Like the guy that we have there now, so yeah.
Right.
Okay, Myrev, to you, please. So today we are starting a new story, and it's called Beethoven Moonlight Sonata, Beethoven's Levone Sonata. And I just wanted something, you know, after the excitement of Vinkl Tam, I wanted a story that is a little bit more calm. There is a problem, Myrev, because we don't see the whole text.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm adjusting.
Okay. Now we see, yeah, now we
Everything
see.
good? Okay.
Yes, yes. So this story, you know, it's not real. That's not how the Beethoven Sonata was written. But still, it's a way to calm us down a little bit. So let's read the introduction. Janet, you are there, Janet? And Janet, I don't know why, but whenever I read this story, and I read it several times, I thought of you. So it's a very fit for you to start reading it.
That's a big compliment.
So start.
I have a very, may I just say, I have a dear, dear friend in Germany who lives in Bonn, which is the birthplace of Beethoven. And he has made my husband and me Mitglieder, members of the Beethoven Society. So
Okay.
thank you very much. It's a big honor.
Okay.
Beethoven's, and I can, when I hear it, I hear the melody in my head. Introduction. This children's tale, written by Shlomo Batomsky, offers an apocryphal origin for Beethoven's Piano Sonata number 14, opus 27, number 2. The sonata, which was written in 1801, only came to be known as a Moonlight Sonata after Beethoven's death, following the evocative description of the piece made by music critic Ludwig Rellstab. Not written for any known commission and marked with a somewhat mysterious superscription, Sonata quasi una fantasia. A variety of origin stories for the work have proliferated, including speculation surrounding the work's dedication to Beethoven's pupil and love interest, Countess Violetta Giudicadyadi. The story here, told by Shlomo Bastomsky, 1891 to 1941, posits that the work was improvised by moonlight for a blind orphan girl and her brother. A variation of this origin myth. Oh, did I skip a line?
No.
Sorry, my glasses. A variation of this origin myth can also be found in the 1909 film Origin of Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, directed by Thomas Edison. Is that the real Thomas Edison? Oh my
That's the one.
Wow. It seems that
Another anti-Semite.
oh no, oh dear. It seems that both the film and Bastomsky's Yiddish story were drawing an pre-existing lore. Bastomsky published the story in the March 15th, 1927 issue of his children's journey, Grinike Beimelech, for the occasion of Beethoven's 100th yahrzeit. The story was then published again in 1928 as a standalone volume. You want me to continue?
Yeah, now it's just a few words about Bastomsky.
Okay. Bastomsky was a Yiddish pedagogue and educator dedicated to creating resources for the burgeoning Yiddish school system. This wonderful arrow helping me a lot, thank you. He created the publishing house Die Neue Jiddische Volksschule and founded and edited 2 Yiddish children's journals, Der Haver and Grinike Beimelech. Bastomsky was also active as a folklore collector. He collected and published a variety of folklore, including proverbs, aphorisms, sayings, riddles, stories, jokes, songs, and children's games. Headed the folklore section of the, I guess, Shula?
Shinansky.
Oh, Shinansky Vilna Jewish Historical Ethnography Society, and was a member of the Folklore Commission of the YIVO Institute for Jewish Research.
From time to time, I just, I want to bring other people that wrote in Yiddish but are not well known to us. So
I think it's very interesting.
Bastomsky is
Sehr
one of them.
interessant.
Okay, danke.
Danke an Sie.
Okay, Beethoven's Levone Sonata. Rafael, will you start, please?
Das ist gewesen in Bonn, die Stadt, wo Beethoven ist geworden, nicht weit von Köln in Deutschland. In einer Levoniken Frühlingsabend bin ich einmal reingekommen zu Beethoven, rufen ihm spazieren. This happened in Bonn, the city where Beethoven was born, not far from Cologne, Köln, in Germany. In a moonlit spring evening, I was once coming to Beethoven to ask him to come walk. Wir sind gegangen durch a schmal finstere Gessel. We went through a narrow, dark alleyway. Plötzlich is Beethoven stehen geblieben. Suddenly Beethoven stopped still. Wart, hat gesagt. Just wait, he said. Was seien das für Klangen? What sort of noises are those? Aber spielt mein Sonata. Und wie gut spielt. Someone is playing my sonata, and how well he is playing. Wir sind gestanden bei a kleinem armen Heisel. We were standing next to a small, poor cottage. Und mit his Beiles sich zugehört and listened with enthusiasm.
I think wonder, no? It's not wonder?
Well, his Beiles, yeah, it could be wonder also. Yeah. In a Weile Arum hat sich die Musik übergerissen. In a bit of time, the music stopped. Wir haben gehört a verstickt Gewehen. And we heard a How are you going to translate versteckt? Caught in
Here
the
she-
throat.
Choked.
Yeah, choked, that's it. A choked cry. That's the good word of that. Ich kann mehr nicht spielen. I can no longer play. Hat sich der Herr mit seiner Stimme. Someone's voice could be heard. Das ist zu prachtvoll. This is too magnificent. Ich feel as ich spiele nicht so wie man darf. I sense that I'm not playing as I ought. Oh, wenn es geht sich mir ein, if I only could, konnte einmal das zu hören in der Ausführung von einer großen Musiker. Just one time to hear it with the performance of a great musician. Says a Cholem, Schwester. That's just a dream, sister. Hat geantwortet dat zweite Stimme. A second voice answered. A Cholem, was ist schwer zu verwirklichen. A dream which it would be very difficult to bring to reality. Wir seien doch so gemein, so gedrückt. We are so common and so oppressed.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Rafael. Brenda, can you go on?
Okay. Ich weiß, nur wenn es gelingt mir, Gott, wenn nicht is. Okay, so I know, only when it's gelingen.
No, it's not.
Gelingt
mir.
Gelingt mir. Ich weiß nicht, was das ist.
When I feel like it.
Okay. Chach, although Chach nit is, it isn't. Chach eenmaal in Leben zu hören emetze der heubene music. So although one time in my life to hear true geheubene elevated music. Komm rein, hat gesagt Beethoven, und sein Stimme hat Zimmer getan. Entschuldig, So come in, Beethoven said, and his voice was troubled.
Yes. So just a moment, I see that Rafael raised his hand.
Yeah, just on the expression, nor wenn es gelingt mir, Gott, wenn nicht is. Gelingen, it's a German verb, not used often in Yiddish, mean to succeed. So if it would succeed, if I would succeed, Gott, wenn it is means any time, at least sometime is how you might translate it in English. If I could do it, only even one time.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Brenda, go on.
Ja, allein zu was? Ich will spielen, hat geantwortet, und man wird mich da verstehen. Ich will das. So I will play Beethoven answered, he answered, and we will there understand. And I want to
I will be understood here.
I will be understood. Okay. So ich feel das. I feel this.
Okay, so just a moment. Anne Frank wants to.
I have a question.
Yes.
The word sitter. Could that be in a shaky voice?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, Brenda, go on.
Okay. Hat geöffnet die Tür und wir seien allein. So he opened the door and we went in. Beim Ecktisch ist gesessen ein junger Mann und hat verricht an alten Stiefel. So by the end of the
table sat a young man on, he was fixing an old boot.
Yes.
By an alt-fränkischen Klavier, by an old-fashioned piano, eingelenkt auf die Klavischen, laid on with the key on the keys, eingelenkt, is gesessen am Mädel mit prachtvolle, lichtige Haar, was haben bedeckt ihre Achseln. So sitting there sat there is a woman, a girl, with wondrous bright hair that was covered, that covered her shoulders.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. We are learning your music in Yiddish. So, yeah, okay. So, Rachel, go on.
Yeah, okay. What was the last word?
You start from entschuldigt.
Yeah, okay, I have it. Yeah, okay. Entschuldigt, hat gesagt Beethoven, ich hab gehört das Spielen. Seien mir herangekommen. Ich bin ein Musiker. Excuse me, Beethoven said. I heard playing here. So we went in. I am a musician. Das Mädel hat ein Zitter getan. The girl trembled. Der junge Mann hat ein Kuh getan auf uns, unfreundlich und base. So the young man looked at us in an unfriendly way and angrily. Ich hab gehört, hat gesagt, hat Beethoven wieder gerät, will mir soll euch aufspielen. Ich will euch aufspielen. I heard that you said, Beethoven spoke again, you want that someone would play for you. So I will play for you. Unser plötzlich der Scheinen ist ausgekommen sehr modne und der Balleboss von dem armen Heisel hat Weißtois gewollt von uns Potter werden. Our appearance, our sudden appearance, looked very strange, and the homeowner of that poor house apparently wanted to get rid of us. Dank, hat gesagt. Thank you, he said. Unser Instrument ist sehr schlechter und wir haben keine Noten nicht. Thank you, he said. Our instrument is very bad and we don't have notes. Music, sheet music. Ihr habt nicht keine Noten? You don't have notes? Hat Beethoven verwundert gefragt. Wie solche spielt ihr? Beethoven asked, you don't have notes? He asked surprisingly, so how do you play?
Okay, thank you, Rachel.
Can I use this opportunity that I'm talking because my electric hand doesn't work well. I would like to ask for Raphael 2 questions, if I may.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. The word klang, Raphael, you translated it as noise, klang and noises, and to me, a klang is a sound, and noise is it's not noise. Am I right or am I wrong?
I think you're right, although in my dialect of English, noise and sound are practically the same thing. But yeah, maybe it's better to translate Klang as
Klang.
sound.
That was one thing, and another one was, oh, I don't remember. Yeah. Maybe I'll come to it later.
Okay, so when you remember, raise your hand. So
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
So let's continue. Luisa, would you like to read?
Can I say I know now what the word? Can I
Yes.
just ask now? Okay.
Okay.
To me, a Gelegenheit in Yiddish is an opportunity. And I think that what she is saying here, if I have the opportunity, if I'll have the opportunity to have someone play for me, it's not. And for you translated it as success, gelegen, but I don't think it's what it is here. It's if I have the opportunity, if I'll be lucky enough. A Gelegenheit is yeah, an opportunity. So what do you think?
The word was not Gelegenheit, it was Gelingen. And it's
Geling, yeah, but that's
the verb Gelingen, past participle gelungen, means to succeed. It's not the same as Gelegenheit. Although it might be related, it's a different verb.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Luisa, you're with us?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Hat reingeguckt in Ponym, der junger Mädel, und da erst haben wir bemerkt, als sie ist blind. So he looked in the face of the young girl, and for the first time realized, or mir in this case, would we realize it that she is blind? So we realized, right? For the first time that she's blind.
Yeah.
Entschuldigt hat Beethoven sich verentfernt. Sag mir aber, wo hat das gehört? Was hat nur was gespielt? Excuse me, Beethoven answered. Tell me though, where have you heard this? Which you have just played, the piece you have just played.
Just a moment, I see Rafael, you raised your hand, yeah?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Just a point of interesting grammar, but difference between English and Yiddish. We then noticed that she was blind. In English, you put it was, but in Yiddish, wir haben bemerkt, als sie ist blind. Once you've placed in the main clause that you're in the past tense, any subordinate stays in the present. Sie is blind. So it's just a difference. Some languages do it one way, some another. And Yiddish and English disagree on how to put the time sense of a subordinate clause.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, go on, Luisa.
Okay, so where is it that you heard this piece that you have heard, right?
Yes.
Mit etliche Jahr zurück hat das Mädel erzählt. Several years ago, said the girl, hat Leben uns gewohnt a Freu, a gute Spielerin, in Frühling und Sommer pfleg ihr lang stehen vor die offene Fenster von ihr Haus und sich zuhören, gedenk ich es. So several years ago, she said, there used to live here a lady, a very good player, and in spring and summer, she used to I used to stand by her window, by the window of her house, and I used to hear her. I remember it.
Yes.
Beethoven hat gar nicht geantwortet. Beethoven didn't answer anything. Hat sich schweigendig besetzt zum Klavier und genommen spielen. So he quietly sat by the piano and began to play.
Okay, thank you, Louisa. Thank you. Hilda, would you go on, Hilda?
I'll try.
Okay.
Wie nur es haben sich der Held die erste Klangen habe ich schon verstanden, was von dem wird herauskommen. Keinmal nicht vor dem, nicht nach dem, hab ich also Musik nicht gehört. Keinmal und vor keinem hat Beethoven nicht gespielt. Mit also Begeisterung wie in jenem Abend in Heisel von Ormen Schuster und sein blinder Schwester. Ja, so schön.
Yeah, can you translate it, Hilda?
As soon as the first, die erste, sorry, sich, as soon as he heard, or you could hear the first sounds, I already understood what was going to come out of this.
Yes.
Yeah. Keinmal never nicht vor dem. Nicht noch. Oh,
not before.
Never. I've even before then or since have I such music. Have I heard such music? Keinmal never. Uno keinem, and never and for no one had Beethoven had never and for no one had Beethoven ever played with such inspiration as in that on that evening in the little house of the poor sister.
Shoemaker.
Oh, sorry. Of the poor shoemaker and his beloved sister.
Blind.
Blind. Oh, blinder. His blind sister. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have the strength to read another sentence?
Der Etzem. Yes.
Very.
What is Etzem?
Very.
Etzem Ton. The very tone. Von dem alten Instrument hat sich etwas mit einmal wie geandert. Is that right? Geandert.
Yes.
Und geklungen. Zart, tief, feierlich. Feierlich. Oh, yeah, so schön.
Der Etzem, Tom, what is Etzem?
So the very tone.
Ah, the very tone of the old instrument suddenly
changed.
What is übergeandert?
It's like change. It's like the
Ah, it changed. Yes, I see. Suddenly, the tone of the old instrument changed, and rang out. No, not rang out. Rang, sounded gentle, tender. Yes, deep. And is that honest?
No, feierlich is like
Fiery.
fiery.
Oh, fiery. Wow.
No, it's not fiery, it's solemn. Feiern is to celebrate.
Yes, yes, and
right.
solemn sounds right.
Okay.
In the context. Yeah.
Thank you, Hilda. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Morty, go on.
Der Brüder mit der Schwester haben geschwiegen. The brother and the sister remained quiet, versteckt dem Atem, held their breath, filled mit Wunder in Hitlavus, full of wonder and
Enthusiasm.
Yeah, enthusiasm. The brother had gelost die Arbeit. The brother left his work. Die Schwester ist gestanden beim Klavier mit breit geöffnete blinde Augen. The sister stood next to the piano with bright opened blind eyes. Zudrückendig die Hand zum Herzen, holding her hands tight to her heart, wie sie wollt Meure gehabt, das Herzkloppen soll nicht zerstören, die Harmonie von die geschudeftige Klangen. As if she was afraid that her heart
heartbeat.
Beating of her heart.
Her heartbeat will bother the harmony of the magical music,
Okay,
magical sounds.
Just
It's
a
so
moment.
gorgeous.
Yeah, just a moment. Susan and then Refoel. Susan?
I have a question about the word hislavus, which means enthusiasm, but what Hebrew Shorish or root does it come from?
Lamed Hey Bet. Lamed Hey Bet.
What does that mean exactly?
A root doesn't have a particular meaning, but it really you have the word lehava also. It's flame,
fire,
and it lahavut is inflamed, the enthusiasm, like we are with fire. But the root is lamed hey bet.
Okay. I want to add that it's also something that is sharp because lahav is a kind of a knife.
Yes.
That is true. Yes.
Yes, it's true. Rafael?
Yeah, another point of interesting grammar here, and difference again between English and Yiddish. She was afraid that this would interfere, but in Yiddish, she was afraid that it would not interfere. In Yiddish, when you have a hope that something might not happen, or that you're afraid that it might happen, that thing which might happen, you put with a negative. So, sie hat Meure gehabt, das Halsklappen soll nicht zerstören.
Should not.
Yeah, should not. And this is different from English, where we'd say she was afraid that it would interfere.
Okay, thank you. Marsha? Marsha?
You need to.
Yes.
Can you just can the oisius be a little bigger, because some people have to use a magnifying glass, so maybe just a little bit bigger. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Luisa.
Yeah, refoil, it's a subjunctive form that does not exist in
Yeah.
English. So,
Yes, and
because the subjunctive is concerned with verbs that have some kind of fear, let it not be something that we are afraid might happen, but we do not want it to happen.
yes, in English, we would say lest it should do that.
Right, right. So it's a subjunctive, and it happens, of course, this may be the influence of Old French in Yiddish, because obviously there is French, there is subjunctive in the Romance languages.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. It's almost 12 o'clock, so I think we will finish the story next time. How much is there left, Meyer? Have another page?
We're about a little over half through.
Two.
2 pages? Okay,
Yeah.
so we will finish it next time. Yeah.
It's a
there is
beautiful
no-
story, beautiful story.
Oh, yes.
I sent something in the chat last night. We watched a movie about Beethoven called Copying Beethoven. It's beautiful. If anybody loves Beethoven as much as Dave, you'll enjoy that movie. But
what is it about, Beverly?
It's about Beethoven himself and a young woman who becomes his copier. It's not true, but the music is all over the place. But I don't know. Let me ask my daughter where it came from.
Okay.
Well, send out the link. Oh, unless you did.
Yes, I just wanted to refer to the word hitlavut and just say that it is very much related in the literature to Hasidism.
That's where I heard it before.
Yes.
Nowadays, but not necessarily so. When the Zionists dance, they dance with itlavut, you know?
Yeah.
It all depends on the context.
Yeah, but the word she opened her eyes and you said bright eyes. Bright is English. Is the
Wide.
Wide eyes. Bright. Yeah, that's I always make mistakes like that too.
Yes.
But
yes.
yeah, but this is Yiddish, not English, and this is wide. Yeah.
Okay, anyone wants to comment? Yeah, Maurice, I see.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that it was by complete coincidence that I chose the song that was written by Bela Gottesman and her brother Mordche, and they were active in Europe as Yiddishisten, very active in forming the Yiddish schools and in Vilna, and they were active in the movement of the territorialisten that we had read about. And you picked a story written by Bastomsky, and Bastomsky was also from that same group of Yiddishisten in the 1920s and the 1930s who formed those first Yiddish language schools and the Ethnographic Commission and so on. And Bela's son is Itzik Gottesman, who is also a folklorist and a musicologist, and he wrote a book called Defining the Yiddish Nation about that whole circle of his parents and Bastomsky. And in that book, Defining the Yiddish Nation, he must have devoted something like 20 pages just about Bastomsky and his contribution to that movement, if anybody's interested.
Oh, yeah.
Thank
Okay,
you.
yeah, you know, it's
chat.
always interesting to have new authors, you know, not
Thank
to
you.
not to repeat.
Can you send it in the chat?
I'll just send it out to everyone, yeah.
Yeah, you will send it in an email, so it will
Yeah.
be easier
Even
later.
better.
Okay?
Even better.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else want to add, ask? Yeah, Barbara.
Can you hear
I just
me
want to make
now?
a plug, just a plug here for Alex Weiser. Alex Weiser,
From
Alex
YIVO.
Weiser is public programs director at YIVO,
YIVO,
and
right.
he is a composer. He's working on only 2 operas at the moment.
Yeah, but
And I contacted him and told him we were reading the story, Mina, and he was delighted, and he said, a very sweet story. So if we have any questions, I'm sure he'll be available.
Good.
It is a sweet story, and it also gives us some, vocabulary that deals with music that we haven't done until now.
I wasn't sure what language he translated it from.
Well,
it's,
you can't be sure, but we know that Yiddish ethnographic commission that Bastomsky was a leader of, they went out into the field to record, all these myths and legends of the Jews that they spoke in Yiddish, all the mythology, all the superstitions. So it's very possible that's where he got it.
Was he connected to Ansky and his ethnographic work?
Yes, he was part of that in the 1920s. He was one of those Zamlas, they called them, to go out and really listen to how. In fact, we read a story in the Vinkl. Remember, it was Hannah Merke from the Fish, about a woman
by
who found fish
Karpinovich,
in the
Morty.
street, and then one of the evil Zamlas hears her talking. He starts writing down everything she says, all her curses, all her jokes. It's part of that whole ethnographic commission.
Group. Just a moment. We read it before Zooming?
Yes.
So maybe
I never heard it here. I read the story, but
Let's read it again. Let's read it.
So do you know what? Let's read it. It's a wonderful story. And so let's do it. I will send it to you. When we finish this, I will send it to you. And Morty, as a lover of Karpinovich,
Yes.
Yeah,
it's a wonderful.
Karpinovich,
Okay.
right.